What is up, you guys? It is your boy, Phoenix Brent here, and today we have my instant reaction to the Green Bay Packers winning against the New York Giants. Now, before we get today's video, like and subscribe. We are on the road to getting to 700 subscribers. But we're kind of on a roll as of recently. I know I say that every time, and usually everything goes wrong, but I always got to point it out. We're 3 away from 650, by the way. Pretty huge if you want to ask me. But anyways, enough said. Let's just get into the video. And wow. This was kind of an ugly game to watch, I'm going to be honest. Now, I'm not meaning that as in like in terms of just us. I was kind of including that with the Giants as well. But it was still not a great game to watch. And there's a lot of reasons, but the one particular reason is because of the drops. I thought we were done with this, but apparently we're not. We had, I think, maybe 8 to 9 drops on both sides of the ball. Now you're like, oh, well, if it's just the defense, then it's okay. No, this is like half offense and defense. So that's not a good thing. The fact we've had 8 to 9 drops is kind of nuts. And again, defense, that could have turned into interceptions. Catches on offense, that could have turned into points. You kind of can get what I mean by that. Like, this team could have, like, at the end of the day, the score could have, I don't know, maybe been like 40 to like 13 or 14 at the end of it. We could have dominated New York if it weren't for all these drops. And also, the pass rush, although was better, I still wish for it to do better. I guess let's just get the negatives out of the way. I might as well. The pass rush did do better in the second half, but in the first half, it still wasn't that good. And also, the secondary needs to play better. Not just the dropped interceptions, but just better coverage. Isaiah Hodgins, who last week, by the way, wasn't even on their roster, had an amazing game. And Jameis Winston had only threw 1 interception by some miracle. I can't believe what happened with this game. And this was particularly the reason of why. The drops, there's just a lot of issues. And then there's just issues that I can't really fully blame, but they are still things I have to consider. Lucas Haberson did not have a good game. Now, to be fair, the wind was 18 miles per hour, so it wasn't helping him. But man, he still did not have a good job during that game. We still won the game regardless, but maybe could have sealed the game a little bit quicker if he did end up making some of those field goals and extra points. And then there's other things where it's just like, I kind of wish that Jordan Love wasn't in as quickly as he was. And I wish Chris Brooks was used more often. So kind of what I mean by this is by designing a little bit more differently with how we do things on offense. Obviously, with Josh Jacobs being out, which I really hope he's okay, we had Emmanuel Wilson in, and although he had a very good game, and I'm not going to deny he had a solid game, I do wish that it was more of a 1-2 punch with Brooks, because I believe Brooks is such a solid running back in the depth chart, and I think he should have gotten more chances. I mean, he had to carry for 8 yards. That's not bad. I just wish we kind of utilized him more often. Maybe give him like a couple of carries every now and then, or maybe have him on third downs every now and then. I wish we used Chris Brooks more often. And especially in situations like this, I don't want to see Emmanuel Wilson also get injured and then just have like Chris Brooks. Just saying that as an example. There are a lot of things that just didn't go well. And also, I have to talk about Jordan Love's completion percentage. He didn't had a great game, but to be fair, if you're really looking at his stats of the score, which is a 13 to 27 completion percentage, which is below 50, I think. Part of it wasn't his fault, but again, it was kinda to some extent because it really should have been more like 18 to 27, 19 to 27, which is again way higher completion percentage than what 13 of 27 is. So now with all the negatives out of the way, let's talk about the positives. We did not have a turnover during this game. That is a really, really good thing. I'm so happy that we did not commit a turnover on offense. Because that was probably part of the reason why we lost the past 2 weeks. Because we committed a turnover against Philly, which would have gotten us in the field goal range and potentially kicked a field goal. And then the Panthers. And again, we could have maybe once again kicked a field goal to tie up the game. Or something like that. You kind of get what I mean by that? Turnovers cost us the last 2 weeks. And the fact we didn't commit a turnover in this game was probably the big factor of why we won this game. And I also got to talk about Christian Watson. This is amazing what he did during this game against the Giants. He had an incredible game. Caught 2 passing touchdowns with Malik Willis and Jordan Love throwing the ball to him. I just think Christian Watson was such a great player here. And it's just, I wish this team was more healthy in terms of the pass catching group. Because guess what? That means we would have Tucker Kraft, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Jalen Reed, Matthew Golden, all of which are so great receivers. And I just wish that could have been the case, and this team would have been explosive if that was the case. And our defense hold up their own. Listen, I understand the run defense wasn't that great during that game, which is, I guess, a bit of a negative, honestly. The run defense wasn't really that good. And yeah, receivers were kind of getting open a lot in medium passes, which are like 10, 15-yard passes. But the defense did good enough to win the game. And that is what we've been asking for them to do, and that is exactly what they've done. People are going to look at this game and probably going to be like, oh, wow, the Packers defense. Oh, God. Don't forget, they only allowed 20 points. And if it weren't for all the dropped interceptions, probably would have been less than 20. Probably could have been like 13 or 14 or maybe even a shutout potentially. If they just learned to catch the ball. Which I honestly made a joke during the game a little bit where I was like, bench Carrington Valentine, because I remember he had 2 dropped interceptions. And I'm like, put Bo Melton in there because, he's a wide receiver, even though that may have not fixed the issue. Potentially could have. I don't know. But just saying that as an example. And I know I did hate on the pass rush, but the pass rush dramatically improved in this game. The Panthers game, we had no pass rush. The Eagles, we did, but we just didn't get a sack. In this game, we did end up getting sacks. And literally, the final play, we got a sack, a fumble, which completely changed the game. So, I don't see why this team is not generating pass rush. Now, I hope this team continues with this momentum to going into next week against the Vikings, where we're going to be generating pass rush. That's what I'm hoping for, is this team to continue on this path to generating pass rush. And this is our get-back game. I knew this heading in. This was not going to be an easy game, as maybe you would figure, oh, this is such an easy game, blah, blah, blah. But, again, we've lost 2 straight. The morale's kind of low. And you kind of just need to get back right game, and this is what it was. It was a get back game. And now hopefully we can play better against the Vikings next week. And then play the Lions on Thanksgiving. And now I'm hoping that we don't sleep on the Vikings. I'll say this once, I'll say it again. don't sleep on the Vikings. The Vikings almost just beat the Bears this week, which I know we normally beat the Bears, honestly. But the Vikings are not a bad team. And they just beat the Lions a couple weeks ago. We can't sleep on the Vikings. And then we have to beat Detroit in Thanksgiving to even maybe have a remote shot in terms of winning the division. It's kind of no exceptions. If we really want to win the division, we're probably going to have to win maybe every game except like one. And I mean by every win as well in the division. We would have to win every division game, and we probably could lose like one out of division game, but that's about it. So we're kind of in a needy scenario here, and I'm just praying for this team to step up and be this better team, personally. Also, I just think it's kind of funny that, once again, we won another game where we only put up 27 points. I'm sorry, I just think it's hilarious. But anyways, guys, I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace.